Stand by.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be finished talking about crinks for a little while. So I brought them both on, the Riley Krink and the PSA Krink, better known as the Kronk and the Crank. It's about time we have a face-off between the first two American Krink style AKs available, and they both came out in the same year, the same month, almost the same week. Kind of crazy how it all worked out. We have the Riley Defense in 7.62x39 and the PSA in 5.56 or 2.23. We have a full series on both guns already. Both guns have almost the same round count, probably both up around the 1100 round mark before today's video. Feel free to check out all the PSA videos and all the Riley Defense videos. I'll link them all in the description below. If you want to help out the channel in any way and you feel so inclined, you should go to thirdpinthreads.com. I'll put that link right here. Thirdpinthreads.com. If we have anything left after Clash Bash, it was like our best sales weekend ever. It's all available right there. We actually just recently had a whole new merch drop a week ago before this video was filmed. So if you haven't seen it, there's a whole bunch of new stuff available right now. And that's how you support us. No Patreon, no Leviathan paid ad reads. That's the best way to do it. In today's video, we are going to take both of these guns to one of my favorite matches of all time, the Texas Kalashnikov match in Kempner, Texas. It's 4 stages. We're going to shoot both guns on each stage. This is a lot of movement, pretty technical match, at least this month's was. So I think it's pretty cool to see which gun I would actually do better with in a match. And I know this is like apples to oranges. 2 guns that are the same shape, 2 completely different calibers. So take that for what it is. I'm trying to run both guns with virtually equal setup. So in today's video, they're both going to be suppressed. They're both going to be on iron sights. And they're both going to be kitted out exactly the way they were from the last video. They both have RS Regulate lower hand guards. They both have some thingies here to grab onto, and they both have some thingies here to put on my shoulder. One is running an ALG, the 7.62. One still has the factory trigger, which honestly feels pretty good. I'm running nothing but 30 rounders in both. And I'm running reliable mags that I know are going to work, so hopefully there's no malfunctions in today's video. I made sure to put the Resilient Putnik on the 7.62 to try to dampen the recoil, which it does dramatically. We ran the Wolverine on the PSA Krink. I would say the recoil between the two now is kind of the same, so that's good. Both of these guns are zeroed at 25 yards. On paper, they held really tight groups on paper at 25 yards. This match is extremely close with a lot of movement. I knew that going into it, so I put really close-up zeros on both. I am happy to say that a standard sight tool will work on both of these sight blocks. I didn't have to use a Magnum-Matic, so that was nice. I was a little worried shooting this match on irons because Krink irons leave a little bit to be desired in most people's minds, but after shooting the match, I'm here to tell you, I had no problem with these iron sights, which you will see. They're basically pistol sights with a little bit longer sight radius. If you can shoot pistols really fast at up-close targets, you should be even better with 3 points of contact on a Krink. They're basically big pistol sights. Anyway, going into today's match, I feel pretty much the same about both guns. I've grown to really like both guns. They both offer something that the other one doesn't. Easy to find ammo, good ammo. I guess better ballistics out of the ammo that it's chambered in, because 7.62 works really good in short barrels. Yeah, and both guns have been very reliable with brass case ammo, and this really just eats everything. So it's been very, very reliable. Okay, without further ado, let's go ahead and head to Texas Kalashnikov. 4 stages of pain with both guns. I've got a little bit of first-person view footage and camera footage, so I'll be kind of splicing that all together to hopefully show you guys what it's like actually shooting a stage from my perspective. We'll show you the scores and tell you how each gun stacked up. Let's get to it. Stage 1 is a shoot house. Right at the buzzer, I have to take out some steel, 2 hits. I then have to take out moving targets before they move behind a wall. And then I move through the shoot house and take out the paper targets and more steel targets as they see them. There's a few ways to shoot this stage, and I actually shoot the stage a little bit differently with each gun. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Sure, I'm recording. I gotcha.
All right.
Yep. All right. Shooter, are you ready? Shooter indicates ready. Stand by.
No, I only have like
Hit.
100 followers.
Hit.
And I don't try to go.
Yeah. Hit.
Right, good job.
2890.
Let Carl, right, just keep that up for the whole station.
All right. Shooter indicates ready. Stand by. Hit. Hit.
Fast as fuck.
Hit. Hit.
Man, that felt pretty fast.
2426.
What was it?
2426.
2426.
Iron sight.
Hey, good job, Clay.
America's most hated Krink.
All right, let's reset.
That's how we do it.
After stage 1, the shoot house, the 7.62x39 Riley Krink came in second place overall with a 24-26, no penalties, followed behind by the PSA 5.56 Krink coming in 8th place overall, 28-90 clean. And just so you guys know, you're going to ask, there are 62 shooters total, so both Krinks did pretty good on iron sights against a lot of people. But the 7.62 Krink came in second overall. That's really freaking good. And I felt like it got hits really fast. So, score 1 for the Riley. Let's go to stage 2. Stage 2 was designed for our good buddy Pascal all the way in Germany. Apparently, he's like a wannabe equestrian AK shooter, so we all had to shoot from a horse. Anyway, the idea here is you're shooting every target from horseback, and it honestly kind of felt cool. Like, it felt like I was literally shooting targets from horseback. So, I thoroughly enjoyed that. I tried this thing where I was like using the horse's head to stabilize. It didn't work out great. So, yeah, not my best stage on both guns. Let's go ahead and see that.
It's gonna make it any worse. Is that a real horse You don't gotta pull too hard. All right.
That's what she said.
Are you ready?
Ready?
Nice. Good job.
Starting with the 5.56 PSA Krink, we came in 23rd overall with a 19.78 clean. Just like right there in the middle of the pack. Could have done a lot better with that. So a lot of that was me figuring out the stage. The 7.62 Krink, however, came in 6th overall with an 11.76 clean. I don't know what was getting into me with that 7.62 Krink, but something was just feeling right. Anyway, that's score 2 for the Riley.
12.27. 12.27. Range is clear. What's the time? 12.7.
It's like it was 1 second slower in the Krink.
Really? Damn.
1 second slower.
Because you were running, you were hauling ass.
I might have,
It's because all his videos are fast forwarded.
no, I might
Oh, really?
have, I think I was slower on the load. Hold on there, dude.
Hold on there, dude.
Stage 3 was called More Cowbell for obvious reasons. We had to launch and try to hit the gold member in his cowbell. We had to launch like a little trebuchet. Didn't count towards your score. But the majority of the stages today, we had to start unloaded. So there was a lot of picking up your empty gun, loading it, racking it, and moving. I found both guns to be extremely easy to get loaded, up and running quickly. So that was nice. I think just the size of a Krink is extremely wieldy to go from empty to fully loaded and moving on. So the scores, oh, and by the way, before I tell you the scores, this was my favorite stage because it was just a barn burner, run and gun hoser stage. Really only one way to shoot this stage. You launch your thing, you move until you can see all the targets, and just hose. So, 7th place overall was the 5.56 PSA Krink with an 11.95 clean, beating out 8th place overall, the 7.62 Riley, with a 12.27 clean. So basically, they were neck and neck, 7th and 8th overall, separated by 0.3 of a second. Very, very close, but that score won for the PSA, so that's 2-1. Let's move on to the last stage of the day. Final stage of the day was pretty cool. We had to throw some shovels and try to stick them. Total bonehead mistake with the PSA. We actually left the chamber flag in the gun when we went to load it, and I had to get that out, which cost me precious time. So that was totally on me, not the gun's fault. But interestingly enough, I'll have to tell you something after we see the footage of both runs. There actually was a screw up with the timer, so we'll break that down in just a second.
Hey, let's fly ahead.
Oh, you had it.
Good job.
Oh, nice.
11:42. Road show clear. Clear. 11:42. You are clear.
Damn, it was slower.
Oh, 11. Wow.
Yeah, how was that slower?
Dude, that felt so fast.
Had to be faster. All right. So what ended up happening here was the 7.62 actually ran faster, and when the RO was telling me the time on the Krink, I'm like, that doesn't make sense. We think what happened is the suppressor was a little too quiet on the 5.56 Krink and didn't pick up a shot, because there's no way that it was faster. When we reviewed the footage and I spliced them side by side, you can clearly see the Riley finished substantially faster than the PSA Krink, but as far as the score goes, it shows the PSA ran better.
Chamber flag. $11.42. Road show clear. Clear.
Technically, it's a match. These things happen, so you have to give a point to the PSA Krink on a technicality, because technically the score shows that it won. Footage shows that it did not. Malfunction on the timer. Anyway, awesome stage. Both guns ran great. Technically, it's a 2-2. Technically, even though it's a 3-1. In the real world, let's take a look at the scores overall and see which gun won. When it was all said and done, the 7.62 Riley Defense beat out the Krink, finishing with a 59.72 raw time compared to the PSA's 69.94 raw time, separated by only 10 seconds. The Riley took it. Not only did the Riley beat out the Krink, it came in first place overall. I won the match with an iron sight 7.62 American-made Krink hated by many for some reason, but it actually is a good gun. And so is the PSA Krink in my experience, if you just run with the brass. Both guns did phenomenal. Keep in mind, we're on iron sights. The majority of the people here are running all kinds of stuff, optics, lasers, you name it. And both of these guns did phenomenal. Really, really good. And that, I know that's a lot of that has to do with the shooter, but that just goes to show, like, a match, to me, is one of the best ways for a gun to prove what it's made of, because guns, if they're going to break, they always break at a match. You're always going to have malfunctions at a match. You yourself are going to show your internal malfunctions and screw up at a match, and the match will show you what you suck at and what you need to get better at. But I was on my game on this day, so I think I gave both guns a fair shake, other than that last stage with the PSA leaving the chamber flag in, and somehow, like the gods smiled upon the PSA and had a screw up with the timer and gave the PSA the win. It's just, you can't make that stuff up. But overall, the scores don't lie. Both guns did extremely well. I should probably tell you, I don't think I mentioned this before, but the PSA took 5th overall out of 60 plus shooters. The Kronk and the Krink came in top 5. I mean, that's not bad. I've done way worse with much better, more expensive guns. I just have. So that's that, man. So to end this video, I don't want to rant and ramble about these guns too much, because I think we're going to show these guns a little bit more in the future. Both guns came and saw and conquered at a match. They had what it takes. There were 0 malfunctions. And that's really all I have to say about that. Can I pick one over the other? Not just yet, because they both did really damn good. So to cap off this series, although we're not quite done with it, the guns will return. I got to give both guns 2 thumbs up on this day. Had a really good day with both. Everyone that shot them seemed to really like them. It was a good day. The Kronk and the Krink did good. All right. I know you wanted me to pick one, but I'm not gonna. So I'll see you next time. By the way, I know everyone keeps asking how I'm getting those first-person view angles without a camera on my head. That review's coming up in another video. It's actually a pretty cool product. We'll see you then.
Hit. Hit. 2426. 2426.
2426.
Iron sights.
Hey, good job.
America's most hated Krink.
All right, let's reset.
That's how we do it.
Your
Thank you,
singular
sir.
round, sir.